Two, one. What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Platinum Podcast, episode 17. I know I took 1 or 2 weeks off. That's just for the mental, but we got somebody here that I look up to. I think the future sound of Hmong hip
Hey,
hop. Somebody that I really respect in the game, and every time I get into a conversation about hip hop in the Hmong community, his name always pops up. I mean, he's revolutionizing the game, the sound, and everything. He's worked with Kevin Knox, NB Nell, KT, you know uh, Bud Kane, uh, and of course Khalil Universe. We got Chilla. How's it going, man?
yo, what's up, Austin? Appreciate you for having me here. It's been pretty busy, but I got to make time for a Platinum Podcast. I appreciate you reaching out, and I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I mean, of course, I was going to reach out, right? In the beginning, I really wanted to, but I wanted to get my numbers up just so I have enough viewers to see this conversation that we're gonna have, because, like I said, like I really appreciate and I really respect the work that you are doing for Hmong hip hop, right? Or just hip hop in general in our community, because I think it's really important. And, like I said, like I have, when I have conversations about hip hop in our community, uh, your name is always there and your name is always, you know, taking it up a little bit. You know what I mean?
Shit, I mean, I don't know what to say. That's crazy, man. And I appreciate everybody who acknowledge me or throw my name out there in the conversation. Man, that's always love.
Mhm.
So much love to everybody who gave me a shout out.
Yeah, I mean, like, going back into the history, right? You started out as a battle rapper, which I think is very interesting. I used to watch battle rap. I'm pretty young still, but then, like, I go back and watch MC Jin and even
Mm-hmm.
like Dumbfounded. I was growing up on Dumbfounded, so a lot of Asian inspirations in the battle rap game. But then when I found you in the battle rap game, I was like, man, there's a Hmong person doing battle rap.
Yeah.
Like, I really, I think, I think that was when I was like, yeah, that's my guy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
How did it all start with the battle rap?
Just like you mentioned, what inspired me was Jin as well. I think I was a ninth grader in high school, and I was going back to watch all his battles online, Freestyle Fridays, and then even I think when he was doing like Smack DVD, it's just good to be able to identify with somebody. So when I saw that an Asian person was out here, killing it, he wasn't just doing it, but he was actually like, putting in work, and he was really good at what he was doing. So that inspired me. So what I would used to do is like I would just go to school and start battling people for fun. Even though I was trash and they were trash as well, but it's just friendly competition.
Right.
So that's how I really started in high school with battle rapping. And then, I went down the rabbit hole searching for more rappers, came across Dumbfounded, and then guys like, other battle rappers out there, A-Class, Tantrum, all of them guys were doing it too. So I was huge into that shit. I was, I was watching everybody's battle, and then it kind of went on to some of the top tier or more respected battle rappers from like New York and stuff like that, like Murder Mook, Low Deluxe, Hollow, the Don, Grind Time, Smack, and then. And when I was in college, I think they started the league called the URL Ultimate Rap Battle League, and then that's when it just took off. And then shit just got crazy. There's just battles everywhere, and then there are guys that you follow. And what really inspired me to do it myself was that, around that time, me and my college buddy, MG, we were just like, yo, man, like this is some shit that we can do because, in a spare time, I was still writing music, but at the same time, like I was just writing bars and stuff like that. So he had connections to like a local Minnesota league, and then No Coast Raps, shout out to No Coast. And then I got booked. And then no-showed, my opponent no-showed. No-shows are fairly common with like smaller leagues, you don't get paid for this shit. So and a lot of people aren't inspired, you know what I'm saying? So if you're not getting paid and you have to travel out of town just to battle, a lot of times people don't prep. So they just cancel out on you. So I got canceled like twice. And then my first battle happened in a barbershop. And I forgot what the league was called, but the footage never came out. But I ended up winning that one. I could say that. Yeah. And then it just kind of took off from there. And then, just start to get more noticed and book more consistently.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, as a Hmong person, right? Or as a Hmong man, really, we don't really have that's somebody to look up to, be like, oh yeah, like I could be confident, or I could actually do this too. How did you find the way to be confident and actually do battle rap? Because I know battle rapping is hard. Like you have to have confidence. You gotta be cocky. You gotta be like ruthless. You know what I mean? Like, how did you find those personalities, or how did you find those traits within yourself, without really having somebody with a Hmong descent to actually do it first? Because I think you're probably not the only Hmong person, but you're probably one of the ones with the biggest name. You know what I mean? So you're probably one of the ones that actually went out and did it and actually have, like street cred with it, So how did you find it within yourself to do it?
Bro, it's just all about self-confidence, man. Like growing up, I'd say I wasn't really interested in much of like what I'd say most Hmong, people were interested in.
Yeah.
I just like hip hop and football, bro. That was my life, Like in high school, like I didn't enjoy fishing. I don't know about cars, and I forgot what the other one was that was pretty popular, but I just kind of did my own thing because that was what I enjoyed. I feel like when I was growing up, people were really divided, based on race. So like we had like Asians, or more Hmong when hung out with each other, blacks when hung out with each other, Hispanics, their own little crowd.
Yeah.
But I decided to play like football, against my parents' will, or against my parents' request, because they were just like, don't play. You're gonna get injured. It's bigger than you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, but I'm like, you know what, man, fuck that. Hold on, man. I this is something I always wanted to do, so I signed myself up, and then it just kind of took off from there. I just feel like I've always had that self-confidence in me to just say, you know what, like if I feel like I want to do something, I'm gonna do it. And another thing that really helped me with just battle rapping is just because, back in high school, everybody wanted to like, roast each other.
Right.
And if you want to stand in that circle and you want to hear that shit, and then, you laughing at the other person, sometimes you might get called out for something. They're gonna be like, man, what are you laughing at? You know what I'm saying? So like, I had to learn how to defend myself, like I'm in that circle, I'm laughing, people point at me, that I might have to get back at them. So it's like, yo, all right, I'm gonna need to learn this. So I think that just kind of came with it, and I developed that into my style, because a lot of the battles, like I always have at least that one funny bar where people just start cracking up. So yeah, just self-determination, and if you feel like you can do something, just put in the time and go after it, and it'll happen.
You ever think about signing up or like auditioning for Wild 'N
Out? Some people have mentioned that, like, yo, man, you should do that. You should do Wild 'N Out. But I feel like realistically, you know, my numbers on the my battles and the views are still kind of low, and I feel like I didn't put, you know, as much effort into all of my or most of my battles as I could have. Well, you know, honestly, like a lot of it was just kind of like, all right, let me just write something quick and put it together, and then you know, rehearse and then go to the battle and do my thing. Yeah. So I feel like a lot of the times or a lot of the battles, I wasn't as prepared. I was just comfortable with what I was able to do. Yeah. So now I just got by, you know what I'm saying? So like, I never elevated my game. Like if you looked at all my battles, it was just kind of consistent. So I just want to put that out there, you know, like people be like, oh dang, you know, he can do better and stuff like that. Yeah, it's true. I could have, but for me, I felt like this is just a stepping stone for me to, you know, go into the next phase of my, you know, as an artist, right? Yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, and then talking about more music and stuff. You transitioned from being a battle rap artist into an actual like music artist and making songs. So you were making songs way back, and you didn't use autotune yet. What made you switch into the autotune?
Bro, autotune is fun as hell, man. I don't care what anybody says. Autotune is fun as hell. If you try it, you know, you're gonna enjoy messing around with it, you know. So why not? And on top of that, another big reason why I use autotune is because, man, I just feel like a lot of these singers or just Hmong singers in general, bro, they're fucking divas, man. You know what I'm saying? It's like, yo,
call them out, them out.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I you know, shout at nobody specific, but I'm just saying, like, hey, I'm gonna reach out to you, and then like, can you know, get on the hook for me? And they're gonna be like, well, I'm not feeling this, or you know, like, I don't think it's my style. And then what am I supposed to do? You know what I'm saying? I want some singing shit on my hook. Yeah. So I'm not gonna wait on nobody else, man. Let me just do it myself. You know what I'm saying? Right. So it just kind of came to that point, like, yo, you know what? I don't have to rely on anybody else, because you know what? I got autotune.
Right.
And so why the fuck not? And you know, everybody's knocking on that shit. Who cares, bro? Who cares? I enjoy it. And that's all. That's what it's all about. If you enjoy the process, or if you enjoy your own music, you don't have to care about what anybody else says.
Yeah, man, dude, I really appreciate that. And you know what? I respect the autotune. And you know what? Honestly, dude, people be fucking with Migos and all that. Dude, they mumble rapping and autotune, and half the time you don't know what they're saying, and half the time you hear what they're saying, but it's not actual bars. You know what I mean? And you're the one here writing and spitting actual bars and using autotune. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like, dude, if you're a Hmong person and you like to listen to like mumble rap and autotune from, you know, like other artists outside of the Hmong community, but then you come back and then, you know, like critique and judge and, you know, throw shade at, you know, at you for doing the same type of style, that doesn't make any sense to me. You know what I mean? Like, why do that when you could be appreciating at the same level as appreciating these other like big hip hop artists? You know what I mean? So I never really got that from a listener. You know what I mean? Like, I always appreciated, you know, people taking another step or taking another path. You know, but yeah, dude, like I really, like I said, I really respect what you do in this game, because you're, like I said, you're the future. You know what I mean? Like, you're the future. You're revolutionizing the game in the Hmong community. You're taking another way. You know what I mean? You, Kalia, you know, Sons of No Town, KT. You know what I mean?
Right. And I appreciate that, because it's always about, you know, for me, for a long time, I did try to you know, rap without the autotune, and it was always about the come up, the struggle. It's all serious and shit, but you know, and it wasn't working. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't working for me, because that was not who I am as a true person. So you know, like a lot of my music today reflects who I am, because a lot of it is just more like upbeat, or you know, like you can even say like club type music, or hyped, or cocky, or confidence. And you know, that if you know me in person, you just know that that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So I feel like a lot of people who know me personally, they enjoy my music because they understand that that's who I am. But if you're looking from the outside and you just don't know me, you'll probably think, man, this dude is cocky as hell, or who the fuck do you think he is? You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. And like you said, you know, mainstream wise, most people will like it. But then, you know, once they look at somebody within their own community that's doing the same shit, it's kind of like they're hating on it. I just feel like there's not one artist that has, you know, made it yet or went mainstream or made millions yet. So like everybody just feel like we're all just fucking, you know, crabs in a bucket. And hey, you know, this dude is local. I see him all the time. If he can do it, I could probably do it. Or, you know, like he ain't, you know, whatever. So I don't know. That's just my thought on that. But it is what it is. You know, I don't care.
Yeah, man. Going off of that, what do you think about the, you know, the music game in general in the Hmong community? How do you think that's going?
Bro, it's a game changer. Right now is the best time to be an artist if you feel like you know, you want to go after that shit. You got YouTube, you got Spotify, you got so many streams of income that you can make with your music nowadays, you know? So like don't feel like you have to limit yourself, or, you know, don't feel like, oh man, this is only a Hmong community. You know, I don't know if I could go anywhere with my music. It's like, yo, man, you got to change your mindset nowadays. You know what I'm saying? We got music that's reaching fucking China and Laos. And what makes you think you can't do that? If you think you can't do that, then you're putting yourself in a box. You know, you're not thinking big enough. You know, like one thing that Kwile Ku, you know, shout out to Kwile Ku, he said to me back then when I first interviewed him, he was like, the Gangnam Style guy, Psy, you know, like he went, you know, he had reached like 1 billion views on YouTube and making all sorts of money off one song. It was like mostly in Korean. So what makes, you know, or what makes Hmong people think that they can't do that with the song in Hmong? Yeah. So you gotta think, you know, think bigger than the community.
I think, honestly, I think that is the problem right there. You know what I mean? A lot of, I mean, no knock on the Hmong people, but I'm just saying, a lot of Hmong people don't think outside the community, you know, because we are such, I mean, we have a big community, you know what I mean? We have a big community, everything, like, if you know somebody, you probably know the other person too, you know?
Facts.
Yeah, so it's like, we tend to just think inside the community, and sometimes, well, most of the times, we don't really think outside the community. We don't really think outside the box, you know, and everybody's just kind of in with the box, you know. And I talked to KT about this too. You know, sometimes it's good to be outside the box, you know what I mean? And I think that's why you are so successful, because you're outside the box, you know what I mean? You're breaking all the rules, you know what I mean? Because yeah, like there's rules, right? There's these non-spoken rules about the community and or about this industry, right? The music industry in the Hmong community. But then you go against it, and look at that. Like everybody's like, oh yeah, like that's what I've been feeling about this thing too. You know, I'm glad somebody rose up and actually did it. And like I said, you know what I mean? You're probably the one that's gonna be starting something, or you're probably the top guy that's like, oh, well, if he can do it and if he's breaking the rules and he's successful, maybe I could do it too. You know what I mean? And like I said, you're at the top of your game right now. You know what I mean? So really, really big ups to you just for breaking the rules, or just not even breaking the rules, but just being outside the box and thinking differently. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And, you know, shout outs to KT, because, you know, that's what he's been doing for all these years. You know, he's always done his own thing. He knows who he is. You know, he's been making his sound or his type of style of music for the longest time. And then he'll throw in a little Monglish here and there. Yeah. You know, but yeah, that's my guy KT. So, and you know, and I appreciate what you're saying too. For me, I feel like I'm just slowly starting to become an artist myself. You know, pushing myself out there. I feel like, you know, in the music scene, I've always been everywhere, right? You know, so I'm throwing events, I'm doing podcasts, Kevin Knox in them. I was, you know, working with 18 Clans at one point as well. Shout outs to Kevin Knox and Tujer. And so I've just been all over the place. So now I feel like I found a sound that I like and I enjoy, and it's working for me. And now it's time for me to elevate my game and, you know, push myself to the next step.
Right. I mean, I'm kind of hyped right now. I mean, it might still be the alcohol from last night. You know what I mean? I'm kind of hyped right now. Just talking, you know. But one of your songs, good. Yeah, one of your songs, "Ain't Even Worried." I think that was probably the first or second song from your channel. You said, hold on, I wrote it down. Money, cars, clothes, hoes. Those are former goals. You wrote that, and then your most recent song, one of my favorite songs, actually.
Yeah.
You wrote the song "Cars, Clothes, and Hoes."
Facts.
Did you manifest that, or were you planning that, or did it just coincidentally happen?
No, man. I knew I used those lines before, and you know the saying "cars, clothes, and hoes" is pretty popular, you know, in hip hop, and I just felt like that term was just something that would stick out as a title. You know what I'm saying? Like cars, clothes, and hoes. I mean, what the fuck is he talking about? But if you really listen to the song, like I don't even talk about cars, clothes, or hoes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm just pretty much what the song is saying is that, you know, those are things that comes along the way. In this process of, you know, you reaching the top or as you start to gain more attention, right? So, but if you just look through the lyrics or my verse, like not one time I talk about getting cars, clothes, or hoes. These are just things that I feel like would come along in the process.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, going back, like looking at the Hmong music industry, you really have nobody talking about this stuff. You know what I mean? You really have, because let's be honest, Hmong music is pretty much based on love, and it's pretty much based on sadness or heartbreak. You know what I mean? And those are the main topics that everybody really sings about, and you know what I mean. But then you went across, you know what I mean, like being cocky, being yourself, being, you know what I mean, like being confident in yourself, you know, and you start you start making music off of those. Like, I think it's so inspiring, and so, like, I think we need more of that, you know what I mean? Like, other people in the other industries, they do that all the time, right? But then we've never seen it in our community to, you know, show off or, you know, brag, or, you know, even like have self-confidence in themselves to make a song about themselves. You know what I mean? So
yeah, facts.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. I'm just, you know, hyping you up. Like, yeah, facts, man. You know, you talking that shit. Yeah, you're right.
yeah, man. I mean, like I said, you know, it might be the alcohol from last night. You know what I mean? But I'm pretty hyped. You know, getting things off my chest.
Yeah, let it go.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying, like for the Hmong people, or the Hmong community, man. I think the people that's like hating on this new wave of type of music and is hating on Chinchilla, like, why you listen to the same type of style all the time with English rappers, like, right, with Mika rappers. So, like, why hate on a brother for doing the same thing? You know what I mean? And actually spin bars, actually telling a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, because if you actually listen, the autotune, it doesn't matter. It wouldn't matter if you have autotune or not. You actually be spitting bars. You know what I mean? You're actually telling a whole story. You know?
Yeah, facts. And I appreciate that because, you know, I come from two different worlds as far as music goes, right? I'm a battle rapper,
Right.
You can't survive that shit if you ain't got no lyrics.
Right.
And I'm over here trying to make music too. And, I enjoy the melodic sound. And, if I could just be this perfect singer and shit like that, I wouldn't use autotune, but I love autotune. It gives you a different vibe, different cadence to it too.
Right.
So I gotta put both together. You know what I'm saying? Even though sometimes I might not be saying much in my verse, it's gonna make sense, or I'm gonna have that at least 1 or 2 bars that's gonna stick out. So
right.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, for sure. And how did you build a relation with KT?
KT, yeah, that was actually one of the episodes that I was watching that after you reached out to me. Shout out to my guy KT though. So back then I used to be like a club promoter as well. And I was just a small time promoter. I wasn't the one in charge. I didn't do my own thing yet. And the dude, he was messaging me like, yo man, I booked a date for us for Stargate, for those who are still around to remember Stargate. What should I do? You know what I'm saying? He was like, yo, I got this date. I don't know what to do. I'm like, yo, you should call it, this. And he was like, yeah, that's a good name. I'm going to use that. And then he was like, I feel like I need some performers. Who should I get? And I'm just like, let me do some research in our community. And I'm like, digging. And I'm like, hold up, man. Not a lot of people got songs out here that are meant for the club, bro. Right. I'm not trying to hear nobody go up there with the guitar. I'm not trying to hear, like, I'm trying to get lit. You know what I'm saying?
Trying to get bangers, man.
You know what I'm saying? So I'm looking around. I'm like, all right, there ain't much out here to work with. But I see this dude. I'm like, no disrespect though. No, this is facts. And I'm like, yo, I see this dude doing this thing out in Milwaukee and then KT. And I'm like, oh, okay, put y'all out. He got that coming out. I'm like, oh, this shit's kind of dope. So I reached out to him like, yo, man, you want to do a show? I'm on a small budget, but I could get you a room and I pay you this month, a couple of songs. And he was like, all right, cool, I'm down. And then, we linked up, and ever since then, we were just good. It's like we understood one another.
Yeah, for sure.
I understand his grind. He understands what I'm trying to do, and then it's just been mutual ever since.
Yeah, especially at that time, man. That time was like there was hip hop, but then there was just that one side of hip hop. You know what I mean? Like it was kind of like hip hop and pop at the same time. You know what I mean? I think now it's transitioned to like actual hip hop. You know what I mean? Yeah, that time. KT was KT was probably one of the only person that was actually doing, hip hop and being outside of the box at that time.
Yep. Facts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, how once you did that with KT, you did have some special features in some of your music videos, like Sons of No Town. How did you get linked up with them?
Sons of No Towns for the video feature, right? When they just kind of were in our song, Thao off. So I think I'm trying to remember the exact timeline here. They they reached out to Kalia to do the song that they have together.
Oh yeah.
And then after that, me and Kalia was watching the Weeknd's video. I forgot what the song was called. But they had like a bunch of just B-rolls of other rappers in it. And then we're thinking to ourselves like, yo, that'd be dope if we could do something like that. So we reached out to a bunch of people, and those who replied back showed up, and those who said they couldn't make it, didn't make it. Those who didn't reply, well, you know how that goes. They didn't reply. So those who did show up, yeah. So shout out to Sons of No Town, you know what I'm saying? It was all voluntary. It was all love. They stayed for the whole time. And, I respect that a lot about them.
Yeah.
And it turned out great. You know what I'm saying? The video is incredible. It's almost at 1 million views. And we put a lot of work into it. Shout out to Kalia. She's a perfectionist. She wants everything to be good. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. So it worked out.
yeah, man. Talk about your music videos. I tell you, man. I don't think I've ever seen some Hmong artists have
Hmm.
this type of production, have cars, have the clothes, and I'm not saying hoes, but hella people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Like
Right.
what? Like what was the thought process of making these music videos? Because that's not the only music video that's like looking really good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Um,
facts.
there, pretty much all of your music videos with Kalia is like popping, and everybody's like, once they get it, they want more. You know what I mean? So
Right.
what's the thought process in making these music videos? Because these are like high budget, or like if not high budget, really really good quality music
Yeah,
videos.
yeah, yeah. And and a lot of that has to go to Kalia. Like I said, she's a perfectionist. For me, it's
Mm-hmm.
all about quality. It's always
Right.
been all about quality for me. So if you look at all my videos, they at least have decent quality. But I
Mm-hmm.
just never went the extra mile or took the extra steps like how Kalia did to make sure that everything was perfect and how
Right.
we envisioned it. So a lot of that goes to her for putting in the extra time to set up, or to search for more locations,
Mm-hmm.
or shooting a couple more shots just so that we can get extra footage, and just in case we don't have enough.
Yeah.
So it's really a lot of it has to do with her, and with that type of energy, of course, it's gonna I'm gonna catch on to that too, and then I want to elevate my game as well. Like, oh, okay, yeah, like, I
Mm-hmm.
can't just be over here slouching and shit while
Yeah.
she's over here putting in all this work to make sure that everything is good. So
Mm-hmm.
that's just the type of person that she is.
Yeah, for
Shout out to
sure.
her.
Yeah, shout out to Khalid. I mean, hopefully I could get her on the podcast someday.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, your recent song with Kalia, sure, I forgot the title, but it's that really really catchy song. Um, I wish I thought I'd be rich by now.
Oh,
Um,
okay. Yep.
yeah, that song. I think, man. I mean, I commented on it too, and I was like, this is a summer banger right here. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
when you make really just Mika or English type songs compared to like the Monglish or just
Hmm.
Hmong songs, um, the views aren't as high as the Hmong songs. I mean, like
Hmm.
they're still up there, right? But then like it's not as high as the Hmong songs. So
Right.
how do you feel about that when like your Mika songs aren't as viewed or aren't as popping as the Monglish or the Hmong songs?
Yeah, I just feel like we just got to go back and see, what's working and what's not. Because I do feel like it's a good song in English, right?
Oh yeah, yeah.
So it's like, how do we make sure that this song reaches other population or other audience?
Mm.
You know, like we know that if we make a Hmong song, we'll gain a lot of views from. Oh shit! All right, I'm back.
Okay.
From we know that if we make a lot of songs in Hmong, we'll gain views from people in our community.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just one of the questions that we have to ask ourselves. So it's like, all right, this song is good, but how do we make sure that it reaches other audiences,
Yeah.
and see what they think about it? Who
Mm-hmm.
knows? I don't have the answer right now, but that's a good question.
Right, right. I mean, I think I think it just kind of goes back to like I think the Hmong people kind of have to like evolve with music, right? I think
Hmm.
I've talked about this with KT and um some other artists, but I think a lot of Hmong people has to evolve with music when the music is evolving.
Yeah.
If they want to listen to that genre, right?
Right.
Is very different. Of course, it's very different because it's evolving. But I think you can't have the same mindset going in um, when you're listening to something different because music is a type of art, and art is subjective, you know what I mean? So you're gonna have
Hmm.
haters, but then you also have like followers too. So I think, yeah, like going like making a Mika song, I think because that song was, like I said, is a banger. You know, I play it all the time when I'm in the car. You know what I mean? So
That's love.
yeah, so like I think yeah, Hmong people do have to evolve too, and instead of just kind of whining and complaining, like, oh, like why couldn't this be a Hmong song, blah blah blah. You know what I mean?
Facts, bro.
Like yeah,
Hmong people
like
whine the most, man. That's
oh
just so
yeah,
crazy to
man.
me. It's like, I don't know, man. I just feel like so many Hmong people feel like they're just like they have the best criticism or some shit when it's not even needed. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
cool, but she could have sung it this way, or he could have said it this way, or why didn't they do more of this? Like, yo, what? Where is this coming from, man? You
yeah,
know what I'm
for
saying?
real,
Like,
man.
can y'all just enjoy it or not enjoy it and move the fuck on? Like, we don't. I don't know. I don't know where all this extra shit's coming from. And I just feel like once again, it goes back to all right. We don't see nobody out there that made it yet. You know, nobody's making millions off of music yet,
Right.
among artists at least. So everybody feel like you know they could outdo one another. You know,
Yeah.
it's like all right, well, I'm gonna put my little input in here, thinking that this would have made it better. And it's like, all right, if you think so, bro, just go and do
Just
your
go
own
and do
thing.
it,
You know what I'm saying?
man.
I mean, it's just funny to me. I don't reply to any of those comments because it's just wasting my energy on that shit.
Yeah,
I
for
just laugh it
real.
off and move on. So it is what it is. But
Yeah,
that's
man.
just another thing that I noticed. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
It's like people are funny.
Yeah, man. I mean, like talking to so many like great Hmong artists, right? In my podcast, like I I didn't realize there was like this whole like so much like hate and like so much like criticism towards you guys. You know what I mean? Like there's so much. It's like, oh, like you said, like, oh, you could have sang this better. You could have like put that verse in Hmong, or like, why don't you like why don't you make more Hmong songs? You know what I mean? And
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, it was like, dude, like relax. You know what I mean? Like I'm just an artist. You know what I mean? I'm not like, like you guys aren't the pillar, or you guys aren't like the generals of the Hmong community. You know what I mean? Like
Right,
I
right.
think when you guys are put up and seen as like this type of status, like people will target, and I think it just goes to jealousy, really. Like, oh, like I could do better, you know what I mean? Or I could have done that, you know what I mean? But then like they just like they talk their shit and then just go back to doing whatever, you know?
Yeah, it's crazy. It's a small community, and people are just preying on your downfall, pretty much. Just want to catch you slipping. Oh, damn! You could say 90% of shit that's positive and just good vibes, and
Yeah.
not fucking with anybody. But once you say one little thing that gets somebody mad or makes somebody offended, they're gonna blow it up, and they're gonna be like, "Damn, well, who is this person?" You know what I'm saying? Just like the post that Khalil had, like, 2 days ago.
Yeah.
That shit blew up for no reason. It's like, yo, it's not that serious. Well, she should have done this way. She should have, like, what's going on here, man? Y'all
For
just
real, man.
more people just looking for drama, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, dude, like if people are looking for entertainment, or people are looking for like drama, come to the Hmong community.
Damn. Facts.
Yeah, man. I mean,
You ain't lying, bro.
yeah. I mean, like, dude, like, no hate, but then like, Hmong people have to see. You know what I mean? Like, and I think this year and last year has been such an eye opener for Hmong people, right? Um,
Yeah.
women are getting empowered in the Hmong community more, which is a really good thing. I mean, it's
Yeah.
way past
That's what's up.
overdue. You know what I mean? So it's like people are starting to see, people are starting to speak out, and of course the OGs don't really like it, but they're OGs. You know what I mean? They're stuck to their traditionals and stuff like that. But that I think the younger generation is putting a really good voice and putting very good input in our community. I
Hmm.
think it's a good thing. It's a really good thing that we're changing, and um, you know, not a
Yeah,
lot of people
facts.
will like it. Not a lot of people
Right.
will, agree with it, but then I think this is what our people need. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I agree. You know, change is uncomfortable,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's good or bad. You know, there's going to be a lot of people who are comfortable. They don't want to see change. You know, they like where they're at,
Mm-hmm.
and when they see people come in with a new idea, new sounds, new mindset, new ways of thinking, you know, they're going to be resistant to that. So I just feel like it's natural, and especially in our small community, right? Mm-hmm. Like everybody knows everybody, like we talked about. So, and nobody, not among artists, has made it big yet. So everybody just don't put the respect that the artists in our community deserves.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I think my dad put it the best. You go to McDonald's and you want something they don't have on the menu. Why do you complain when you can just go and make it yourself? You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think like that, when he said that, I was like, damn, that shit's so true. Like, why go to McDonald's and ask for like hot dogs when you know they don't have hot dogs? You know what I mean?
Right.
When you could just go and make it yourself, you know, and then start your own empire. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And talking about empires, how did you come up with Wayne Entertainment and Fact Students?
Right. Wayne Entertainment, man, that's a high school. The name originated from a high school clique when I was a senior. And then I think like 2 years after high school, I was in college. I was still a promoter at that time. So I was a promoter for Chosen One Productions. They were big. They were throwing events in in Wisconsin, I think like Appleton, Madison, and Myth in Minnesota, Epic, downtown Minneapolis. And I was a part of that. So I was always been a student of the game, you know, like I wasn't just out there having fun and getting paid for it, but I was actually like studying, like, all right, how much is a promoter supposed to make? How much is a, you know, DJ supposed to make? What's the average? How do you do this? How do you do that? And then, I think the event after I booked KT, you know, I just kind of figured like, yo, hold up, man. I pretty much put this whole event together for this dude. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I was just like, you know what? I think I'm confident in myself to start my own promotion group. So me and my best friend, Garza, shout out to Garza, we just decided to start our own Wayne ENT group. Mm-hmm. And we just started out doing Thursday nights at Stargate. And the first event was a success. You know, we had a bunch of people show up, more than what they expected. Mm. And after that, you know, we just took off from there. We just started pushing out events consistently. And at that time I was still in college as well, you know, like I was a college student and going to classes, working and fucking throwing events. So it was a wild time.
Yeah, man. How was that being like pretty much like a club promoter? You know what I mean? Like you're running your own business. Like you learn the ropes. You learn the ropes from the people you were working for, and then going and making your own business with your friend. Mm-hmm. How was that transition? Like, was it?
Man, it was the best feeling ever, bro. When you're the boss of your own shit, bro, man, nothing could beat that. You know what I'm saying? Right. It's like I don't gotta answer to nobody. Yeah. You know, this is you know, my thing. I'm running the show here, but at the same time, though, it does put a lot of pressure on you to make sure that everything runs smoothly and make sure that, you know, just you got everything in order. But it's been great, and I've always been low key about it too. You know, I wasn't like, yo, man, I'm the one running the show. There was a point in time where people thought that Wayne ENT was ran by like some rich dude or something like that. Really? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people thought like, yo, who is in charge of this shit? You know, like, yo, they come to me, they'll ask me like, yo, Chin, who's in charge? Like, what's going on? Like, who's your boss? Who's running the show? And I'm just like laughing and stuff like, yo, man, just, you know, like if you want me to tell you the truth, man, it's just all me and Garza. Yeah. And people be mind blown, like, what? You guys put all this together, or you guys throw in all these events? It's just kind of like, yeah. But you know, to me, like that was probably like the greatest compliment that I could have gotten, you know, like they didn't think that I was capable of doing something like that. And they thought that it was some rich people who's running the show. Right. But it's just, two best friends, one running his own business, and one college student that's throwing all these shows. That shit's crazy.
Yeah, man, that is crazy. I mean, are you guys still booking shows too? I mean, I know there was the pandemic, but I think right now everything's kind of being reopened, and I think the Hmong the Hmong tournaments are being reopened this summer too. So, are you guys planning to pick it back up?
Right, we'll look into it. You know, over the years we haven't been as consistent because me transitioning into doing more music, and Garza running his own business, and it's kind of busy. But we try throwing like only one or two. We haven't been as consistent because I feel like I kind of cater towards people who like hip hop, and my thing is I like to have a lot of performers from time to time.
Yeah.
I just like giving people the opportunity to just really show off their talent on stage. Yeah. And so that's kind of been our thing, E17, for ever since we started throwing shows, more hip hop based, and always connecting the local artists. Right. So yeah, so we're throwing less shows, but we try to fit it in whenever we can throughout the year.
For sure, man. And at the same time, man, you're putting in local artists or people in your community that might need that show. You know what I mean? So really big ups to you and your friend Garza. So shout outs to him.
Yeah, much love. And just to answer your second question about Fax News, it just kind of came at a time where I think we just felt like podcasts were hot, and Coolio, shout outs to Coolio, he tried doing his own podcast on his own show or channel for a while. So he interviewed a few people, and then he interviewed me once, and that shit was just boring as fuck, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like, I can't even listen to my own interview with you. Trying to interview me, just talking about, whatever. Like, yo, man, we just freestyle it. I was like, all right, cool. Let's just talk about whatever. But if you ain't got no direction, in a podcast, like, bro, shit could go south real quick. You know what I'm saying?
For sure, man.
It's gonna be boring as hell. Nobody want to listen to this. I didn't even want to listen to myself. That's how boring it was. And for me, I feel like I kind of pieced it together in my head where I'm like, all right, this dude Coolio is wild as hell, but it's more like of a visual thing, right? Like people need to see his movements. They need to see how he talks, how he acts, in order for them to understand his personality. And at this time, like, I was watching a lot of Breakfast Club interviews, like Charlemagne and DJ Envy and Angela Yee. So, oh shit. All right. You're going to have to edit that out, but all right.
Oh, I don't edit my videos, man. That's the raw and real, man.
All right, let's see if this stands. This is a new thing. I'm testing out for the first time here too. Okay, cool. So, all right, let's hope that stands. But like I was saying, the Breakfast Club, and then we got my homie Thao. Shout out to Thao too. He's a hip hop head. He knows a lot about hip hop, and I like his takes because he's always been outside the box. If you guys don't know Thao, me and him, we also have a song together called Jing. It's kind of low key right now because he doesn't really like pushing shit out in the mainstream and doing all the extra shit for music, which I think he should. Right, which I think he should. But he knows a lot about hip hop too, and a lot about not just hip hop, but like Hmong hip hop. He's been connected with the scene for a long time. So me just kind of being like the middle person of the best of both, I was just like, yo, man, let's just do like a video podcast. Let's just see how it goes. And the first episode, Coolio, he ain't got no filter, so he's just saying whatever the fuck's on his mind. And it caught a lot of people's attention. You know what I'm saying? Because he's saying stuff that everybody's thinking but not saying. And I just feel like that's what a lot of Hmong people, that's how they feel. This passive aggressive shit. We're just kind of like, well, I hate this person, but I'm not gonna
say anything.
Not gonna show it, but yeah, I show But Coolio's just out there just saying like, yo, man, I just don't think this person is good, or I think this person's doing this or that. And if that's his honest opinion, then it is what it is.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I really appreciate those those talks that you guys talk about hip hop, because honestly, when I got into hip hop, it was a while ago, but it was probably around middle school, right? I didn't really get into hip hop until middle school. My cousin Joe, shout out to Joe. He showed he showed us the song. I forgot what the song was. The uh Apple Bottom Jeans song. Oh,
Oh, with
yeah,
T-Pain?
that song. And then I was like, damn, that shit was pretty bumping, you know. And then I started listening. Yeah, I was like, I was in middle school, you know what I mean? I was like, damn, like I kind of like that song, you know. So I looked at that song, and then YouTube had some suggestions, and then I just started clicking away, you know what I mean? You fall into that rabbit hole, and then you know I found Pac, I found
Hmm.
Biggie, I found Wu Tang, I found Bone Thugs, and I was like, man, like and that time I wasn't even listening to Hmong songs. I was like, man, like that would be crazy if like a Hmong person did this, right? And then David Yang started showing
Hmm.
up, and Elmo, and and then I found
Hmm.
Kool Cool, and then Bud King and all them, and I was like, damn, hip hop is really popping. You know what I mean? And I I wouldn't call myself a hip hop head. I don't know if I could. I don't know if I can call myself a hip hop head. You know what I mean? Like, but I just really appreciate hip hop. The way it went down, and I started watching battle raps too, and MC Jin, and of course. So yeah, man, I just really appreciate hip hop and the stories that they're able to tell through pretty much like a spoken word and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that's dope. Like you heard a radio hit, and then you went backwards on that. We all start somewhere, right? So
Right.
it's like that's just how it goes.
Yeah, man. And talking about, I was talking about my way of finding hip hop. How did you find hip hop?
Um, I, I'm gonna have to say, um, I think it was like in middle school. I had a cousin, and he was big into hip hop. He was listening to like 50 Cent and Eminem, and they were all over MTV at that time. At my house, I ain't got no cable at my house, so I go to
Right.
their house a lot. So you always see the music videos, pop up. And I remember one time I think it was like in elementary even, where I heard 50 Cent song come on the radio on the bus. I'm just like I couldn't vibe with it because I didn't understand it. But once
Right.
you start listening to it more, it's kind of like, oh, okay, like I understand the sound now. I understand what's going on here.
Mm.
So um my bad. But
No, you good.
I definitely say 50 Cent and Eminem,
Mm.
um, Aftermath, Slim Shady, G Unit. It was definitely a huge influence on me. And then like you said, just went down the rabbit hole from there.
Yeah.
Pac, Biggie, and everybody else.
Yeah, man. I think it's very interesting, and we tend to look at these figures as like idols, and we look up to them and kind of imitate their styles at the same time. Is there
Mm-hmm.
anybody that you kind of imitate, or kind of took their style and made it your own?
Huh. Right. As far as style goes, um, I don't know. I feel like every time I try to do something like that, I just kind of end up doing my own thing,
Yeah, yeah,
So so I don't know what like whose style uh influenced me, but I could tell you that some people who kind of like who I took things from would be like Gucci Mane.
mm,
Gucci, I used to listen to him heavy. Um, and a lot of the things that I like that I took away from him are his ad libs. He's really good at ad
yeah.
libs. And he talks about himself in third person.
You're
So he'd
right.
be like Gucci Mane, da da, and then I do that a lot too in my verse. I'd be, Chin Chilla, da da da.
Hmm.
So it's like I feel like that was one thing that I took away from Gucci Mane, like just that style and that swag, that
Yeah,
cadence. It's like he just doesn't give a fuck. Um, and yeah, I don't know who some of the newer guys. I can't think of, on the top of my head, but for sure, I like that about Gucci. Oh, and Kanye. I think there was one thing that Kanye said back then, where he was in an interview and he said something like, he used to rap all with big words and all these crazy metaphors, and then like he was in a battle, and then this one dude, he just said something silly, like some quick shit like da da da, and everybody went crazy. And then after that, Kanye just kind of kept his shit simple. So that kind of stuck with me too. So I just want to be straight to the point. I feel like I just want to be witty. And I don't do too much, So I feel like I took that away from Kanye as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Kanye, everybody sees Kanye as a crazy person, but I love Kanye. Kanye is one of my inspirations, one of my idols. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whether it's in the rap game, sneaker game, or fashion game, all those three, big inspiration for me. What right now? Who would you say is the biggest inspirations in music and in life for you?
Yeah, in music, I feel like it's a mixture, a little bit of everybody, and nobody is just that consistent. Yeah. Except for like Drake or something, whenever Drake drops something, like everybody's gonna listen. Right. So for me, like I think what made Facts News work for me as well is because I enjoy the process of like finding new people, finding new upcoming artists. So I'm always out there looking for the next up and coming dude, or a new sound or something that nobody has heard before. So like nowadays, I feel like a bunch of these kids are doing this fast style with autotune and all melodic, and I really like that. And even some older guys that's coming up at an older age, they're bringing their own little twist to it. So it's a mixture of everybody and everything right now. Like right now is just with Spotify, like you can connect to anybody with an instant. So I feel like not one person would be inspirational for me or inspiring, but like I feel like it's a whole wave right now. Like everybody's just doing their own thing, and I really appreciate that. As far as life goes, I don't know. I feel like I've been reading Kobe Bryant's book, Mamba Mentality. It's been eye opening. Even though he talks about this basketball, like there's routines that he does, and there's people that he acknowledges, along the way, like the person who wraps tapes around him, or his personal trainer that he's been working with for the longest, or even the photographer that's been following his career throughout all these years. So I just thought that was pretty amazing from him, and just, puts shit into perspective. It's kind of like, all right, yeah, Kobe is this great person, but, like he did have, all these people who acknowledged and helped him along the way, or stuck even with him, throughout all these years. So it's kind of like, all right, well, he had his own little personal team, not just himself as an individual player on the Lakers, but these people doing all this extra stuff in the back that we don't even hear about, that he is acknowledging, and that's important.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's crazy to think that, rest in peace. I think it's crazy to think that he's gone. You know what I mean? I think he's one of the most influential, not even basketball player, but a person in
Facts.
In history.
Yeah,
for sure he will go down in history.
Yeah, and that's the thing, because I don't even follow basketball like that, bro. But I know Kobe, and I picked Coolio dropped off this book, and we all know Kobe, and I'm just like, all right, let me just read it, and it's just kind of like, oh, this is dope.
Yeah, man, that Mamba mentality, I think a lot of people would have to adapt to, and that commercial that he had with Kanye, he was like, "Are you the same? Are you the same animal but the same beast, or but a different beast?" It's like, a lot of people laugh at that, but then I looked at it, I didn't laugh. You know what I mean? I didn't laugh, and I actually took that in. I was like, damn, that shit was deep. You know Facts. What I mean? And I think the people that laughed kind of like, yeah, it was funny because Kanye was like, "What the fuck do you mean, Kobe Bryant?" You know what I mean? But then like when you go back and you watch it, it's like that shit is serious to him. You know what I mean? Like he
Mm-hmm.
takes everything serious, and he, practiced and practiced, and then made sure he perfected every little step that he got to. You know what I mean? It could be
Mm-hmm.
the same animal, but a different beast. You know what I mean? I think a lot of people would be more happy or more successful even if they have that type of mentality to begin with. You know what I mean? And I know it's
Mm-hmm.
hard for people to adjust and have that type of mentality, but then I've said again and again on this podcast, I think mentality is such a very like important thing to have going in on like your passion, or going into even like a job or a job interview. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Mentality is such a big thing, and it could affect it could either get you the job, or make you not get the job. You know what I mean?
Right, facts. And on the flip side of that too, I just want to add, it's okay to take breaks too,
Mm-hmm.
Like if you're just mentally drained, or if you're burnt out, it's just real. Just stop and take some breaks, Like what I like to do in my spare time is just watch a lot of like Vlad TV interviews and stuff like that too.
Yeah.
And I think I came across like a Big Sean one where he just said he took a break from making music because he was just be in the studio for like 8 hours and not come up with anything, So
Right.
why not be in there, go in there when you're ready, or when you're motivated, and actually make progress. So
Mm.
I took that and put that into perspective as well, and just tell yourself sometimes it's okay to just chill out and take a break until you're ready again.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I was listening to a podcast. I forgot who it was, and um, yeah, I forgot who they were, but they said that you know they were talking about a music artist, and she writes songs. She said she writes songs about what she experiences, and then she took a big break, and people were asking why aren't you dropping any more songs? And then she's like, well, I stopped experiencing things, so that's why I didn't write anymore.
Yeah.
I needed to take a break to experience things so I could write
Mm-hmm.
more. You know what I mean? And
Mm-hmm.
I think that is such a I was like, damn. I was like, wow, I never really thought about it like that. You know what I mean? Like, um, you know, people who's followed me in my journey in this YouTube channel. I've done fashion, I've done sneakers, and stuff like that. I've taken many breaks. I've taken many like small breaks, big breaks, and yeah, like people just need to one experience new things to be inspired, or two just like you said, just kind of relax a little, and I think that is okay. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Facts.
Mm. And going back to music, how did you get linked up with Kalia Universe?
Mm-hmm. So this is a period in time where in my life where I thought about just kind of like taking a break from music,
Mm-hmm.
I had the studio equipment, I had everything ready to go. And then I met her one day for something that's completely irrelevant to music. It was more like like a business thing or some shit like that. I don't
Yeah.
know, at a coffee shop. And then this is when she was kind of coming back into doing music as well in like early 2019.
Yeah.
I saw her drop like a video of her like doing like a live session with somebody on the piano
Mm-hmm.
or guitar. And then after that we linked up, talked about business for a little bit. And then, she just asked me like, hey, do you have a studio that I could record at? But at that time in my mind, I'm just kind of like, man, I was thinking about taking a break. So I told her like, yeah, I do. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you want to come over and do a session, sure, whatever. It
Yeah.
wasn't even like I was trying to like get at her or anything like that at that
Yeah.
time. Because my thing is plenty of people has come to my studio to record, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I'm always open to recording people back then because I always like to see how people work differently and how
Mm-hmm.
they do things differently. So whatever I like, I just take away from them.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy the process in general of making music. So she came over, we had a successful first session, and she liked how I work and I liked how she works as well. And that's huge
Mm-hmm.
because if you go into a studio and you're not feeling the vibe, or you feel like this other person that's like recording you is not like fucking with your music, or is just
Yeah.
kind of like giving you like fake critique or just wanting you to hurry up and get out. It's kind of like, hey, I'm not trying to come back here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But she felt like, all right, I could work with this dude. And I felt like, all right, wow, you know, she came in here and she knew what she was doing, and we didn't have to, you know, bullshit or just, you know, get nothing done. Like we made progress during the first session. So after that, she came back and then she just, you know, asked me like, hey, I want to do an album. And then my bad, I'm like 10% of my battery, but we're like, I want to do an album. And I'm like, all right, you know what, let's do it then. If you feel like you could do something before July 4th, you know, the big event, you know, let's do it. And we did that, and you know, So Good came out, and after that, man, she just started getting booked like crazy. So yeah, it's dope.
Yeah, man. I mean, I think right after you guys started connecting and, you know, releasing music together, totally changed the game. Totally changed the game. Oh, okay, but yeah, totally changed the game. Totally changed the wave or how people really listen to music. You know, in the Hmong community, I think it's like you and Kalia were probably the ones pretty much that kind of brought me back into the Hmong music scene, because I was tired of, you know, like you said, you know, just listening to the same old like sad song, same old falling in love song, you know, same old,
right,
same old, you know what I mean? And no knock to those artists, you know what I mean? But it's just, if you repeat the same thing so many times, like it gets redundant, you know what I mean? Yeah, it gets boring, and it's like, oh man, this is just like your other song. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, and when you guys came up together, man, I was just like, yeah, like, you know, I could really fuck with their music, because it's like, it's so different, and it's like kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde. I'm pretty sure you've heard this already, you know, kind of like a Bonnie and Clyde situation, where it's like, man, these two people really, really changed the game. You know what I mean? Like, if we have a Mount Rushmore of music artists, you guys would be up there. You know what I mean?
Damn, that's huge, bro. Appreciate that. You said the Mount Rushmore, though.
Yeah, man. Well, I mean,
that's love.
To be honest, you know, and honestly, you guys are just breaking through that glass ceiling of being in the community. You know what I mean? Because you guys, in Minnesota, you guys have articles written about you. I know Kalia's, some of her songs has been played on radio over there too. So I think it's just like, man, I think if people don't see the type of things that you guys are doing and appreciating it, breaking the glass ceiling, you know, going out there, making it to mainstream viewers, I think, man, they are really missing out on you guys. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I appreciate that, bro. You know, it's all about finding the right resources. And Curly has a great manager. Shout out to Jordan. He puts in a lot of work, man, putting in overtime and all this shit just to make sure that everything is possible. So, you know, going back to the Kobe story, right, with the whole finger tape and all that stuff, like, you know, man, shout out to Jordan. He puts in a lot of work for her just to make sure that she's able to be connected to these different outlets. So we got a good team over here.
Yeah, for sure, man. One last thing, I know your phone battery is gonna die. But on this podcast, we asked top 5, dead or alive, who would you have a sit down dinner conversation with?
Top 5. So 5 people?
Yeah, dead or alive.
Dead or alive. Damn. I think Dave Chappelle. Damn, man. You know, I just felt like Dave Chappelle is just an amazing individual. So Dave Chappelle. Let's see. Man, there's just so many people. Probably like Prodigy off Mobb Deep. You know, like that is one of another one of the dudes that like I was huge into, because you know he had this like unique voice, and I actually met him one time real quick before he passed away. So that shit was crazy. And man, I can't even think on the top of my head, because I feel like this question is serious as hell. It's serious, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, if I had I could have a conversation with just 5 individuals. dead or alive. Uh, Man, probably like The Rock, you know what I'm saying? Dwayne Johnson, I don't know, man. He seems pretty cool.
The busiest guy in the world, man.
Facts. And, you know, yeah, I don't know, man. I can't think of any, but I'll give you those three for now, just because.
Yeah, for sure.
I feel like such a heavy question. You know what I'm saying? It feels like it feels like the word family when people use the word family to me. It's just like, yo, what, like you just met each other and we're family now. Like, hold on, man. No, we not. Like, come on.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
That shit hit different. You know what I mean?
right. Like, hold on, man. I'm not comfortable with you just calling me family, man. We just met, bro. So I just feel like it's just a really heavy question.
For sure, man. I mean, yeah, honestly, not a lot of people get past 3. So you get,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you for being on this podcast. Shout outs to you, big ups, to anything and everything you're doing for this community. You know what I mean? If people aren't seeing it like that, fuck them. Because you're doing so much. You're doing so much for this community, and you're putting names up there. You're putting yourself up there. You're putting, changing the whole game for this community. So I think
change the game.
Yeah, for real, man. Is there anything you want to plug? Any future projects that you want to plug in, or social medias, or anything?
Right, I got a bunch of songs that's coming out. I'll tell you that much.
Okay.
Monglish. Shout outs to Fax News, Wayne ENT. Shout outs to Chilla Universe, of course, man. She's just an amazing, incredible person out here, man. And of course, shout outs to you for having me on your show. I really appreciate that. Thank you for reaching out, and I'm glad that we were able to make this happen.
Yeah, man. Again, make sure you guys go follow Chinchilla. Make sure you guys go listen to his music. Listen to what he has to say, guys, because he actually spit bars. If you guys didn't know.
Facts.
But yeah, make sure you guys go check out Fax News. Make sure you guys go support, like, share, subscribe. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe to this video, this channel. And yeah, everybody have a blessed day. Make sure you guys, stay positive. Just, support each other. Support each other. Peace.